He bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, sight unseen in the middle of nowhere, and the only thing he requested was a video tour of the basement. I don't know how to open. Hey, Rach.
Hey, Rebby. What's up?
Not much. Look, you've called me Rebby far too many times. I really don't want that to stick.
No.
You know?
Right. That makes sense. I'll just call you what I always call you, which is Becky.
No. Okay. Well, not that. That's our aunt's name. My favorite aunt's name. So mad respect to the Beckys out there. But I it's just not my name. It's not what I go by.
Rebecca.
What's up, everyone? Okay.
We only have one thing at the top. I'm gonna take it from here. Thank you so much. Then Rebecca will tell us the story. If you signed up for patrons, this is to you. If you signed up for Patreon, first of all, thank you so much. Second, but if you did it through the Patreon app, apparently Apple is now implemented across the board. If you sign up through the app, Apple has a fee, like a 30% fee, and it ups your monthly subscription price. So like we noticed that like someone signed up for a $5 tier, but they're paying $7.50 a month. And I'm like, wait, what? They started doing this last year, but now it's like across the board. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, so if you sign up through the app, you're paying 30% more. Sign up through the website or even the mobile site. Is just because it's going through the app store, they're adding a 30% fee, and we don't know why. It's ridiculous.
We noticed that the $8 tier TTPs, I've noticed it's an $8 charge, but you're paying $11.50, and the $5 tiers you're paying $7.50. And I was like, whoa, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's some iOS processing fee that they put on every single patron, creator, whatever. So if you did sign up through the app or you're noticing that, and this is just it's different if you're in a different country. We don't know any of those rules, but we've noticed if you're in America, you're paying 30% more if you signed up through the app. So see if you can edit it, like go through the website instead or something. Cause we just don't, that's
not fair to y'all. And I mean, if it's a couple cents higher, that's normal. That's just, like taxes or whatever, but 30% higher just because you went through the Apple App Store. Bullshit.
So if you can adjust that, do it. And then we hate it. Even if you have to like cancel real quick and then re-sign up, I would do that. And if you're thinking about signing up for Patreon, please do, and do it through the website, not through the app. There you go. There's their PSA.
There you go. And then you can use the app however you want.
Oh yeah. Then you can have the app and yeah. Exactly. Just don't sign up through the app. It's the dumbest shit we've ever had to say. I hate it.
This whole upcharge that they've done really took notice when we were discussing doing a $10 tier. But my God, you'd be paying out
to get ready to take out a second mortgage. Oh my God, $10.
You're going to be paying $27 a month for a $10 tier. It's ridiculous. No, I'm just kidding. But we are discussing a new $10 tier, which will get some exciting things. And we are going to start recording in person. We're setting up a studio. So that will be so exciting. So
wait, and if you have noticed a 30% increase because you signed up for the app, tell me if that's happened like every month. Is that just when you sign up, or is it every month?
I don't know, but you know what I think? I think we've harped on it a long time.
Sorry, it's just I don't like unjust, and that is unjust. 30%.
Speaking of unjust, today.
Oh wow.
I'm going to tell you, I'm just kidding, but I am going to get right into my story.
All right.
I'm going to tell you about Austin Lee Edwards.
Yes, you are.
Sources, several articles of LA Times. Oh my God, I've got to cancel my subscription. That reminds me. Anyway, LA Times.
No, keep it. Oh, we don't need to double pay. You can use mine. Go.
LA Times, Sacramento Bee, RiversideCA.gov, Mercury News, and Associated Press. In 2022, 65-year-old Sharie and 69-year-old Mark Winek were living on a cul-de-sac in Riverside, California, in a house they built nearly 4 decades earlier. Mark Winek was born in Wisconsin, but he and his family moved to Anaheim, California when he and his siblings were kids. But they stayed tied to their Midwestern roots by their love of Green Bay Packers. So I said that weird. Green Bay Packers and Notre Dame. Huge fans. He even had tattoos, the Green Bay Packers logo on his left arm, Notre Dame mascot on his right arm.
Dang.
In the 70s, Mark met and married his wife, Sharie, and they had 2 daughters, Brooke and Michelle. They built this dream house in the 80s when Brooke and Michelle were little with the idea of it being their forever home, which it was for 36 years.
Oh, cute.
Their house was the very first one built on Price Court. That's the street name.
Okay.
And they were so excited about it. They sometimes camped outside the construction site in their RV to watch the building progress.
Stop.
I know.
I bet the subs working on it love that.
Oh, yeah. Just a watchful eye. It's a Spanish style stucco with the red brick tile roof with big palm trees. And behind the neighborhood, you can see these big mountains. So it's really pretty. And as time went on throughout the 80s and 90s, more and more people built around them. And it turned into this little close-knit community with the Wineks being the OGs.
Sure.
And, you know, those neighbors, the ones that have been on the street the longest are always the ones you want to get to know. They're the best to get info from, gossip, whatever. Like our neighbor, our first house in Greenville, our neighbor Sandy had been there forever. And she's the one who told us, like, y'all used to have there used to be a pool in your backyard. And in the 60s and 70s, it's where all the kids would go and play all summer, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, nice.
I know. I love shit like that. I was like, what? Where is it?
Our neighbor told us that a pedophile used to live here.
Fun.
Isn't that sweet?
Cute.
If this house could talk. Gross.
That's disgusting.
Ugh.
So this quickly became the type of neighborhood where if an unknown car drove down the street, people took notice. Everyone knew each other. Everyone looked out for each other. Mark and Sharie being a huge part of that, even offering to mow lawns for the single mothers who lived there.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very nice. They watched their daughters grow up in this house, and eventually Brooke and Michelle each had two daughters of their own. So at the time of this story, Michelle was living elsewhere with her kids and her husband, and 38-year-old Brooke was a single mom to her 2 daughters, Haley and Jane. And they actually lived with Mark and Sharie. So Brooke is raising Haley and Jane in the same house she was raised in.
Yeah.
Full circle moment.
Fun.
As they were reaching retirement age, Mark filled his days as the assistant baseball and softball coach at Arlington High School and would even bring his own lawnmower to the field to make sure it was nice and tidy.
Oh my God.
He loves to mow lawn. Look.
Some people love a lawnmower moment. They love mowing a lawn.
Well, it's peace and quiet. And then, you know, the smell of freshly cut grass. Sure.
Yeah, that's nice.
And Sharie was a doting mom and grandmother who really prioritized her family. And she loved the fact that her daughter and 2 grandkids lived with them.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving 2022, everyone gathered at Mark and Sherry's house and went around the table and did the whole "what are you thankful for" bit. Then they had what turned into a heated debate over whether or not the brownies Sharie baked should have sprinkles or be left plain.
I'm going to go plain, but okay.
I would say it depends on...
What are you adding? I mean, it's nothing.
Right. But this would be a meaningless, petty argument that would be soon remembered fondly.
Mm-hmm.
The very next day, while at home alone, a detective knocks on Sharie and Mark's door because there was apparently an incident at school involving their 15-year-old granddaughter, Haley. Brooke had taken both Haley and Jane to run some errands, so they weren't home, but Sharie immediately called them to get back to the house. Brooke had no idea what this could be about, but she dropped her youngest daughter off with her sister, Michelle, because the detective said she would need to be interviewed too if she came home. So Brooke wanted to avoid that. She's 13 at this point, I think. So no reason for her to be pulled into this.
Yeah. How old's the oldest? I'm sorry.
Haley, 15.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the cop said Haley should stay in the car while the adults talked first so he could explain what was going on and all the shit. And he already kind of filled in Mark and Sharie and said that it involved some pornographic pictures. So he needed Haley's phone, which Brooke brought in with her.
Oh shit.
After several minutes in the car, Haley started to get hot and impatient. So she got out and went inside to see what was taking so long and to see what this was all about. When she walked in, she saw her grandmother near the entryway with her hands and feet bound in a bag over her head. Then she saw her mom and grandfather the same way by the stairs with their hands and feet bound and bags over their head, but blood was pooling out of her mother's neck.
Oh no.
Before she can even register what was going on, this man jumped out and grabbed Haley by the hair. She had never seen this man before, so she screamed. And when he spoke, it finally clicked.
Oh, God.
This grown man was her ex-boyfriend she met online months earlier, except he was not the 17-year-old he said he was. He was 28-year-old Austin Lee Edwards.
Gross.
Let me just say, because Haley and her little sister Jane are minors, both of these names are fake.
Oh, yeah.
Their actual names have not been released. I used Haley because of your recent bonus episode.
That's right. Been there. You know, it's funny. All the other sources used Jane.
Really?
Yeah. Because like Jane Doe. But
oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess, but
sense.
that's so funny. Yeah. They actually used Jane, and that's not her name either.
Wow. So let's talk about this disgusting predator, Austin Lee Edwards. He's from North Chesterfield, Virginia, which is right outside Richmond, across the country from Haley. And he has had years of secret, disgusting behavior dating back to 2014 when he was 20 years old and stalked a then 13-year-old child online.
Oh, ew. I didn't know that.
Yeah. This girl is now 23, but still wants to remain anonymous, so I'll call her Sarah. She's the only victim who has come forward with her story. We don't even know the full extent of Haley's relationship with him yet, since this is such a recent case, but using Sarah's story, I'm sure is very similar.
Yeah. Wait, what year is it?
2022, but like lawsuits are still being filed today.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't know it was that recent. See, kind of know it, kind of don't. We'll see.
Yeah. So Sarah talked to Austin on and off for about 2 years and in total exchanged about 4,000 messages. The then 13-year-old and the then 20-year-old first met in October of 2014 on Omegle, which is essentially chat roulette. Do y'all remember chat roulette? It's an online.
My God, yes. I forgot about chat roulette.
It's an online platform that randomly pairs people together to video chat. We did it in college a few times. A lot of dicks. A lot of penises. Like, so you like just swipe through, like as if you're just clicking an arrow. It might be an arrow. I don't remember, but
yeah,
you just click the arrow and you're just video. It's Skype after Skype after Skype until you get to someone. I remember, someone said that they were doing it and Robert Pattinson popped up.
Oh yeah. Was that true?
I don't know. I don't remember, but, yeah, I think it was a little blurb on one of those blogs back then. So I think so.
That is so, oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, a lot of naked dudes.
Yeah. So that's what Omegle is. So one day after connecting on Omegle, they took it to Skype. And Sarah said they initially kept it light and would like send each other memes in that first conversation, but it quickly turned very sexual and he requested nude pics.
Ew, from a 13-year-old?
From a 13-year-old
Disgusting.
that he's Skyping with.
Ew, and he's 20.
He's 20. I don't have the entire conversation, but I know they connected or whatever on October 24th, 2014 and October 26th. 2 days later, he sent this message to her in all caps. Yo, what the fuck? I said I wanted tits waiting on me when I got back.
Excuse me?
Her reply was, I'm sorry, but I'm like, I can only imagine that she meant, I'm sorry? Fuck off.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
You're disgusting.
You're disgusting. He would also repeatedly drop homophobic and racial slurs. Of course. Cute. I mean, if this guy's going to be the worst, he's going to be the worst through and through. So only 3 days of chatting, he used the N-word several times while under the impression that she was black.
What?
She's not. She's white. But after using the repulsive word, he said, you're black, right?
Wait, I thought they Skyped. They
did. I don't know. I don't know why he's under this impression.
Okay. Wow.
She didn't respond to this. And then he said, well, I have jungle fever, so let's do this.
Okay.
He is like,
ew,
the worst type of person.
Yeah.
That was on October 29th, literally less than a week of connecting. It was a few days later on Halloween, they finally determined each other's ages. That night, he told her that even though he's 20, he went trick-or-treating, which I have no doubt he did, that sick fucking pervert. Ew. And she said, I did too, but I'm 13. And he said, cool. No qualms for Austin.
Wow.
In fact, he turned up the grooming and told her that he loved her and that she was the only one who understood him. He would often complain about his bouts of depression and his lack of money, once even sending her a picture of a big bowl of ramen noodles because he couldn't afford anything else. Like,
this is not attractive.
That's what I'm noting. I'm like, disgusting predatory behavior aside, that's not cute.
I'm not impressed.
wants to hear about your constant bitching about your stupid financial situation.
It's bizarre that that's the route you took, but okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They often talked about self-harm, and he said that he was a cutter.
Oh,
and
shit.
he's scared of what he would do if she ever left him. Like,
Oh, don't do this.
the classic emotional blackmailing tactic.
Yeah.
One ominous text, given what we know now, is from April 2015, where he asked Sarah to Skype and she just texts back, can't. And he said, why? And she said, because my mom. And he said, kill her.
What?
And she didn't respond to this. And then he sent another one that said, then I'm going to give myself a black eye. Okay.
Oh, do it. No, you can do worse than that.
Right.
Beat the shit out of yourself. Black eye, come on.
Dying to be the bait in one of these cases. I want to play the part of the underage child chatting online with these predators while Chris Hansen's over my shoulder and telling me what to say. It's like the moment Chris Hansen turns his back, I'd say things like, good, you dumb pedophile, you deserve a black eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would be too hard to play the part.
And then Chris Hansen gets all mad at me, fires me on the spot. Oh, I'm out of a job,
Whatever.
Whatever. Worth it. So over a year in, it's late January 2016. He sends Sarah a text that he's found a round trip ticket to her state. I don't know where she lives.
But she's not bait.
No. She's not bait. But I'm dying.
You're just saying that. I was about to say, wait, are you about to tell me that there's an adult involved and she is tricking him? Damn it. Damn it.
But it's shit like this that gets my wheels turning and be like, no, that's a good story. And that would be a future episode for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Dubs. I'll find one.
No, she is not bait. She is actually 13 during this. Oh, 13 to 15 because I taught for 2 years. But yeah. So over a year in, it's late January 2016. She's 14 at this point. And he sends Sarah a text that he found a round trip ticket to her state for $263 and tells her he wants to come see her. So much for being broke, I guess. Oh. And that is far too much for her. I imagine it became too real in that moment because she says, please do not do that, and breaks up with him immediately.
Go, girl.
And he says, listen, there's not an obstacle that's going to stop us from being together if that's what we both want. It doesn't even matter if you're 14 and not technically allowed to do shit yet. No, it does.
No, it actually does matter.
It does matter, you sick fucking pervert.
Ew. Thank you so much.
A few days later, he brings up visiting her again, and she's like, no, I'm done with you. Thanks so much. Bye. So he Skypes her sobbing. Again, not cute. No. And shows her that he's cut his hand with a hatchet. And this, I'm sorry, but I
hate him so much.
This threatening to slit his wrist had me really thinking, being a self-proclaimed cutter. These self-harm claims really seems like his way of speaking her language. Not that she's a cutter, but being 13, 14 years old in middle school, I'm sure she knows someone who is.
Yeah.
It's so strategic. If he said, I'm suicidal and I'm thinking about putting a gun to my head or something, he probably knows that is way too dark, way too heavy for this child, and she would probably be scared off. So he's going this self-injury route, which seems more emotionally on her level. It seems so strategic to me.
Yeah.
And I know you're questioning if we should cut that.
I am.
So I went ahead. Here's the thing, guys. I wrote that in italics, which is in my document, my little code for may delete, may not sure if I want to say. But before blatantly stating that, I wanted to make sure there was something to it. So I looked it up. Oh. And according to National Library of Medicine, NSSI, which is non-suicidal self-injury, is most common amongst adolescents and young adults, typically occur around the ages of 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, no, there's something to it. I feel like he knows what he's doing. About 6% of adults report a history of NSSI.
Okay.
So this particular night was actually Super Bowl Sunday, 2016, and Austin lives with his father, Christopher, who said that they watched the game together. They had 2 beers each, then they went to bed. Well, around 3 a.m. that night / next morning, Austin's father woke up to what sounded like crying coming from the bathroom. And he called Austin's name and tried to open the door, but it was locked. So he got a screwdriver and forced it open and saw Austin's hand bleeding with the hatchet laying next to him. And Christopher called an ambulance while his son went to his bedroom. According to the police report, when his dad walked into Austin's bedroom, he was just on the bed, chilling, repeatedly opening and closing a folding knife. But when Christopher said an ambulance was on the way, Austin made a run for it. And his father tackled him in the kitchen and held him there.
Oh, my God.
When EMTs got there, they saw large amounts of blood and Austin under citizen's arrest, essentially, by his father. But his resistance to medical attention and his very erratic behavior while trying to get out of his father's grasp made them call the police.
Oh, my God.
When cops got there, Austin was being so out of control, screaming and threatening everyone that cops got out a taser, but his dad begged them not to do that and said he'll get him under control. And eventually he did. And they were eventually able to get him to the ground and handcuff him to a stretcher to go get stitches. Like, it's not like he's under arrest.
Sure.
He just needs medical aid.
Right.
But yeah, he is freaking out about it. So while being transported to the hospital, he said in front of police officers that the moment he was free from handcuffs, he was going to kill his father and then himself.
Oh, okay.
Because of this, he was placed in emergency custody and transported to a psychiatric facility in Bristol, Virginia to be evaluated.
Okay.
An emergency custody order is a court-ordered evaluation. It's for people who are showing signs of mental illness and posing as a threat to themselves or other people, but refuse to get treatment.
Mm-hmm.
These little tidbits are important.
Yeah.
So he's evaluated, but I do not know the results of it because for some reason the state has chosen to give him some privacy rights. Blah.
Blah. Boo. Screw you, HIPAA. Tell us what the results were.
Yeah. So that happened, and he's released from the psychiatric facility in 2016, where he does God knows what for a full 5 years. He and Sarah lost communication after this incident.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the last night she ever spoke to him, although he did try to reach out to her a few years later, but I think she just ignored it.
Oh, my God.
So fast forward to summer 2021, 5 years later, when he enters the Virginia State Police Academy.
Yeah.
What?
No, please don't. Yeah, no.
So in the beginning, he was not pretending to be a cop at the Winek's house. He was actually a sworn-in police officer. What kind of flawed-ass screening process do we have going on in Virginia?
Really? What do you do?
Well, we'll get there. So don't worry
okay.
about it.
Oh, my God. That is really shocking.
So after he graduated from the police academy in January 2022, he was assigned to Henrico County, which is essentially Richmond. And about 6 months into his first job as a cop, he pretends to be a 17-year-old high school student and slides into Haley's DMs.
Oh, my God. This makes me so mad.
It's infuriating.
I knew he was a cop, but ugh.
So they spent the next few months talking on Discord, which, if you don't know, is an app that allows you to send voice messages, videos, and stuff like that. And this is where he, of course, love bombs her. He told her he wanted to send her gifts, jewelry, things like that. So without even giving it a second thought, Haley gives him her address. This poor child.
I know.
She thinks people are not the worst because she's a child.
Sure. That's why he's preying on kids.
Yes.
Because they're trusting.
Right.
Ew, I hate him so much.
Oh, he's disgusting. I have no set time to talk shit about his looks.
So would you like to talk shit about his looks now?
I really want to. He is so gross. He looks like a toddler standing with a receding hairline, standing on the shoulders of another toddler with a big coat. So he can trick people into thinking he's an adult, but we all know that he's not an adult because he has not grown into his forehead yet.
Oh my God.
He is so gross looking.
Okay.
If someone were to play him in a movie, it would be Frankenstein.
Okay. I have to, sorry.
Oh, I'm good. I mean, I'm going to blast this guy. So
I know, but I just have to see him right.
You know.
Oh my God.
You get it. She gets it.
Wait, no, this isn't him. Someone photoshopped a baby's face on Dwight Schrute's head.
Yes. Except Rainn Wilson is my heart, soul, and everything.
No, I'm saying someone took off Rainn Wilson's face and just left the forehead up and photoshopped on a baby's face.
Right.
That's what someone did. So this can't be a real picture. That's what that is.
He is repulsive. He
Wow.
is a cartoon character. If he had a newsboy hat, he would look like a cartoon character bully, like a paperboy hat.
Uh-huh.
And he'd look like a bully from the 1940s.
Yes.
Cartoon.
And the same person who photoshopped this baby's face onto Dwight Schrute's head used the eraser tool to get rid of the lips. So that's
an issue.
That's an issue. Crazy. He's really trying to hold on to that hair too. Shave it.
He eventually does.
Yeah, it appears that way.
Oh,
wow.
I didn't know when to drop in when I could talk shit about his looks, but now seemed good. That sounds good.
God, he's trickery. That is what I tell my kids. That's tricking. If he had a hat on, he does look like a 17-year-old kid.
I know. That's what they said that they Skyped. I was like, wait, but how did he look like a 17? And I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
On Google. Got it.
My
Thank
God.
you.
Ugh.
Okay. So Haley gives him her address. Again, she is trusting. She's a child anyway. He sends her a bunch of shit. Well, even Uber Eats her stuff when she's hungry, but it's all to confirm and reconfirm again that he has the right address because he is a disgusting child rapist. In exchange for all these gifts, he thought that she owed it to him to send nude pics, which she was not comfortable doing. She refused, and the more he laid the pressure on, the more uncomfortable it made her. So she broke up with him in October of 2022 and blocked him on all social media. She kept this a complete secret from her family and thought that she would never have to deal with this guy again because he lived across the country in Virginia.
Yeah.
But in reality, he had such scary ass plans for her.
Oh, no.
In early November, after she broke up with him, Austin made a full price offer on a house in Saltville, Virginia, sight unseen. This town is over 4 hours away. So I think it's like 4.5, closer to 5 hours away from Richmond, where he was living. It has a population of about 1,800, and he has no ties to it. For all I know, he's never been to Saltville, Virginia.
Wow.
The man who sold him the house was a guy named Jacob Gordon, and he described Saltville as rural Appalachia, a place where credit cards can't be used on gas pumps and fast food franchises are all but non-existent. When you come here, you're traveling back in time.
Oh, that's what he wants.
Yep. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and the owner only had it on the market for a few hours before he got Austin's full price offer of $79,000.
Oh, man. Wow. Because
he had never seen the house before, the owner asked if he wanted a video tour, and Austin told him he only needed to see the basement. That response,
oh my God,
would send chills up my spine. Ugh. You only want a video tour of the basement? Red flags are flying high.
Oh my God.
Red flags galore. This is disgusting. It was a quick closing, and the moment he moved in, he tinted all the windows black. With this, like the same stuff you would tint your car windows. And then he hung black curtains.
Oh, God. Where does he have this money? I'm sorry.
Well, he's a cop. $79,000? He's a cop. Yeah. He can do it.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot. He has a career now.
And he's been saving since living with daddy.
Oh, so, that's right. Duh.
Yeah.
Is his dad like, what are you doing?
His dad has yet to comment. I don't know. His dad was a resource on his police application, and they never contacted him.
Oh, no. Are we going to get into that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm upset. God, Richmond's a big city, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Richmond Police Department?
No, it's Henrico County. It's right outside. It's essentially.
Yeah. God.
The seller said he didn't think much of it. He was just happy to have a cop living nearby.
Oh.
I know. Yeah. All the neighbors said that, but then neighbors started coming out and being like, this guy seems kind of strange. He's walking around town in summer with a trench coat on. It's like, he's just like a weird guy.
Oh my God. He's got a baby face and an adult body, and he's carrying a gun.
Right. Someone open that trench coat. Let's make sure there's not a toddler he's standing on their shoulders.
Yeah. Someone's toddler is playing dress up. He's dressed like a police officer, which is adorable, but
right.
He's unattended. Someone should get him.
Mm-hmm. Dress like Inspector Gadget, which I do say.
Did he really wear a trench coat in the summer and stuff?
A neighbor later calls the police, and Riverside, California, before the murders, and said that a man was walking down the street in a trench coat and a black fedora. Like it's Inspector Gadget.
Oh my God, he really was?
He's really playing up the detective role. Because while he's a
Ew.
cop, he is not a detective. But he's like, gets
Oh.
out his magnifying glass, like, I'm just
Oh
investigating
my
things.
God.
Like a fucking creep.
Ew.
Because Austin was moving, he resigned from his position in Richmond, and on November 16th, he was hired as a state trooper with the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Saltville. So now we have 2 law enforcement agencies in Virginia that have hired him.
A state trooper, too.
Right.
Big time.
Big time. We will get into that in just a little bit because yikes. So everyone in Austin Edwards' life was under the impression he bought the house in Saltville for him and his actual girlfriend.
Wait, what?
He has an actual girlfriend who wants to remain anonymous because no one wants to be tied to this disgusting pedophile. But he has a long-term, age-appropriate girlfriend who coincidentally lives in California.
No.
His friend, Tommy Gates, said she's about 25 or 26, and they've been dating for about 5 years by the time the murders took place. So they somehow met right after he was released from that psychiatric facility in 2016, and they were just doing the long distance thing. Well, that November in 2022, he drove to California to spend Thanksgiving with her and her family, and then committed the triple murder on his way back home to Virginia. Tommy said before he left, he kept saying he was going to California to, quote, bring home his girlfriend. So obviously they assumed it was the adult woman, age-appropriate woman.
Wow.
But in reality, he was referring to a child he groomed online. He was planning to kidnap her, drive her across the country, and keep her as prisoner in the basement of that creepy as shit house.
Wow. Talk about being duped. Has the girlfriend said anything?
Actually, yeah, Tommy, his friend, said that he reached out to her after the murders, after everything went down, and she said she was confused and heartbroken. He has never in the 5 years of they've been dating ever acted weird. She said that weekend was fantastic. Her family loves him and all this thing. Everything went off without a hitch. He gave no weird vibes.
5 years, you really know someone too, or you think you do. And that, I mean, wow.
Can you
Yikes. I feel bad for
imagine?
her.
So bad for her.
Awful.
And I only say the creepiest shit house because of what he did to the windows and stuff. I do not mean to knock Jacob Gordon's home. It's a cute little house if you didn't know what a disgusting pedophile was planning to do there. Okay?
Wow. I mean, okay.
So here we are in the middle of his sick plan. He just left his real, again, age-appropriate girlfriend's family's house and was ready to take this child by force, having just killed her mother and grandparents. He is still holding her by the hair and dragging her all over the house as he dumps gasoline everywhere. He opens all the doors and windows to make sure that the soon-to-be fire gets enough oxygen to spread. Then he lights a match and walks out the front door. And this is when Haley notices her grandmother is still moving.
Oh, no.
And there's nothing she can do about it. Poor child.
He had shot them?
Oddly enough, I don't know why, it's not confirmed exactly how Mark and Sharie died. Every article, I even went to the coroner's report and couldn't find it, but every report, the LA Times has every police report, and every report says Austin tried to asphyxiate them by putting the bags over their heads before starting a fire. It is confirmed that Sharie was still alive when the fire started. So I'm guessing they died from the fire. They did confirm that Brooke, he slit Brooke's throat.
Okay, that was about to say, well, you said the neck.
Blood was pulling from her neck. It was confirmed that she fought back hard. So I'm guessing that's why he just pulled out a knife and slit her throat. Poor thing.
Oh, my God.
So this monster...
I gotta say, her picture popped up when I Googled his little stupid baby face. She's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Very pretty. A very pretty family, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle's the only one who's come forward and spoken publicly. She's very pretty too.
Oh.
So this monster forces Haley into the back of his car, but not before she saw the neighbor, who was also her grandparents' best friend. And this neighbor actually already called the non-emergency police number that morning because this dipshit parked his red Kia in her driveway and blocked her in. And she didn't know who he was.
Oh my God.
And she said that's the neighbor who said he was aimlessly walking around the neighborhood. He's dressed in a trench coat and a black fedora like Inspector Gadget. And she even provides dispatch his license plate number, which stood out because it was a Virginia plate.
Wow.
So this neighbor comes outside when she sees them walking and told Austin that he couldn't park there. And he quickly apologizes, says like, sorry, I'm moving it now, and jumped into the driver's seat. Then this neighbor caught a glimpse of Haley's face, which was stark white. And then Haley mouths, "Help me."
Oh my God, stop. I got chills.
This neighbor runs inside to call 911 to tell them there is a distressed child getting into the car with this dumb looking pedophile with a 5 head.
Oh my God.
It's a big forehead.
No, I know what that is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. She's 15 at this point. Sorry. 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good God.
Shortly after, she's been 15 the whole time. They've only been talking for a few months.
I know.
Crazy.
I don't know why I felt the need to clarify that. Go neighbor.
Shortly after, the house is ablaze. So now cops are getting calls from all neighbors. One who Facebook messages Michelle. Remember, that's Mark and Sherry's other daughter, who has Brooke's youngest. She has her youngest daughter with her.
Oh my God. Thank God she dropped her off.
I know. That's the one thing I keep coming back to. Like he said, if the youngest daughter is with y'all, I'm going to have to interview her too. What was what were you going to do?
To kill the whole family. Kill everyone.
Oh God.
For sure.
Thank God. Brooke dropped Jane off with her sister. So
yeah.
Michelle was actually out getting Christmas lights at this time when she got the Facebook message about her parents' house being on fire. So she drops everything, abandons cart, and hauls ass that way. The fire department and poor Michelle get there as they're pulling out 3 bodies. They ask Michelle if anyone who lives there has any identifying marks, and she tells them about Mark's 2 tattoos, the Green Bay Packers and the Notre Dame. And they just hold their head down and tell her that they are so sorry.
Oh no, that makes you want to cry.
I know. And she just falls to the ground. So cops put out a bolo for this red Kia and probably an Amber Alert for Haley, I would imagine. Yeah. Elaine, our best friend who lives in California. Do you remember getting Amber Alert in 2022?
Well, would it go that far? Oh, I guess it is statewide. Never mind. Sorry. Wow.
But when that first neighbor called the police and gave that license plate, they typed it into the system and they could already see it was a personal vehicle of a police officer in Virginia. They also see a police report he filed from some incident, whatever, recently when he was on duty, and which included his cell phone number.
Oh, wow. Wow. He used his real car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So cops used data from cell towers to track him. About 3 hours later, almost 200 miles away, San Bernardino Sheriff's helicopter spotted him in Kelso, California, about 40 miles from the Nevada border. And a SWAT team starts their pursuit. Let's go, boys. Dun, 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 dun.
Go SWAT. You're badass.
I know, it's so badass. When trying to pull over this evil child rapist police officer, state trooper, he accelerates and took them on a high-speed chase.
Let's go. We have helicopters.
I'm in a SWAT car. You're in a Kia. Let's do this.
We have eyes on you from the air, so sure.
Let's try. And your bright red Kia. Are you anyway? So they're in the desert and they're hauling ass. Austin then pulls out his service weapon and starts shooting.
Oh God.
The moment he hits a SWAT car, California cops are like, fuck this, and they return fire until he eventually loses control of the car and drives off the road. He then jumps out and starts shooting up at the helicopter hovering above. Police fire at him and he drops dead right there from,
damn it,
a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
I thought so. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn.
Is she okay? That's a bad crash.
Yeah. Police rush to the car. They find Haley completely distraught, but physically unharmed. Now, psychologically, I can only imagine. Now, how the hell did this man become a police officer? Apparently, during the hiring process, he told both agencies that he voluntarily checked himself into a mental health facility in 2016, which is not a disqualifier to be a cop. That's fine if you do that.
Fine.
Court-ordered evaluations, however, are. Virginia police have made very few comments about this case, but they did write a 23-page letter, which opens with, the Virginia State Police has a well-vetted background investigation process for all trooper applicants.
Clearly.
Yeah, y'all rock it. It goes on to outline the hiring process, and they say during their internal investigation of that murderous pedophile that nothing about a mental health order was found. Okay, two things on that. What is listed in the hiring process is a review of any police records and traffic violations made by the applicant. So I'm guessing since, and by the way, I'm not meaning to knock completely Virginia State Police. I mean,
no,
I really
but this
don't.
is a big oversight.
This is a pretty big, this is a pretty big.
Aren't they? Well, and didn't he join the force that came to that incident? Like, wasn't it? Okay.
No.
I was like, did they not? I don't know.
So his, that was in Abingdon. Sorry, Virginians. That's in Abingdon, Virginia. That's where his dad technically lives. Again, Richmond's a big city. So the metropolitan, they have their own,
Okay.
But so the hiring process is outlined in this letter, and it's public if you want to look it up. But it's a checklist is one of the things on the checklist is a review of any police records and traffic violations made by the applicant. So I'm guessing since what happened in 2016 was an incident report, not a criminal police report, they didn't see it in the system, or not see it. I'm sure if they wanted to, they can see any and all police reports. But I'm guessing they didn't look for anything aside from criminal. Because remember, he was not arrested. They just wanted to give him stitches. My God.
Right.
So suggestion one for them would be, let's unfilter that search and show everything.
Sure. Why
but
not?
Whatever. Maybe it wasn't a part of their process then. I'm sure it is now. Whatever. But if the dude in front of you who is trying to become a cop tells you that he checked himself into a psychiatric facility, shouldn't that trigger a deeper investigation? Like, give that facility a call or get your warrant together and go
see
there.
What the deal was.
Get the details. Make sure they line up with what that sick pedophile is saying. Because had they done that, they would have obviously seen that he was lying. And they would have also seen that what came out from being admitted to that psychiatric facility was that he lost his right to own firearms.
Oh, he did?
Under state law, he was banned from owning a gun, to which Virginia State Police said, here's a gun.
Here's a gun. We haven't checked if this is legal. And
it's baffling since all of this came out and that psychiatric facility in Bristol, Virginia, because they don't want to be on the hook for it. They're like, this was not us.
Yeah. We did everything right.
LA Times, the letter and notification they send Virginia State Police when someone is court ordered to have an evaluation. If they're in the state, they give it to the state police. They put it in their system so they can all see it. So I'm like,
wow. So they just really didn't look.
It's checked. What results? Unable to own a firearm is a big old check mark.
Hire this guy and don't give him a gun.
Right.
And they
said,
since
all that
you're hired,
came out,
here's your gun.
Mm-hmm. Since all that came out, Virginia State Police said it was a human error and an isolated incident that allowed Austin Edwards to be hired. An isolated incident, a one-off.
That we know of.
Yeah. This is the only time we haven't thoroughly looked in someone's background, and it happened to be this disgusting murderer and pedophile.
Yeah.
Eesh. Doesn't look good. That's not the applicant you want to fuck up on. I'll tell you.
Nope. Well, I'm sure they've gone back and looked at everyone they've hired that are currently working on the force and own
hope so.
Gun.
I hope so. But because of this, Haley and her aunt turned foster mother Michelle have filed a fat federal lawsuits against Washington County Sheriff's Office alleging negligent hiring practices, and they are seeking more than $100 million in damages, stating it was his service weapon and badge that granted him access into the Winek's house that day.
That's right.
It was the reason they opened the door and let him in. It was the reason they allowed him to look in Haley's room, which is repulsive.
Ew.
These are very recent lawsuits filed in early 2024. And as far as I know, there hasn't been a settlement. I'm sure it'll be an undisclosed amount.
Undisclosed amount is what I'm going for. Hell yeah. Get it, girls. Oh, that is so fucked up.
It's so heartbreaking.
Awful.
Haley is now in trauma counseling, and her aunt and guardian, Michelle, said that they want the story told as reference when discussing the dangers of catfishing with your own kids. She said, tell our story to help your parenting, not out of fear, but out of example of something that did actually happen. In October 2023, I don't know why this is.
What?
This makes me teary.
Oh God, what?
In October 2023, Price Court, which is the street the Wineks lived on, was ceremoniously renamed Winek Court.
Oh, that's sweet.
The street they loved so much and built their forever house on for 36 years they got to live there is now named after Mark and Sharie.
Oh, well, that's great.
I know. Oh, and that is my repulsive story of Austin Lee Edwards. May he burn in hell. And my terrible, terrible story for the Wineks, Haley and Jane, even though I know that's not their real names, and the parents they lost. So sad.
So sad. Their grandparents.
The grandparents and mother they lost. And yeah, Austin Lee Edwards' actual girlfriend. My God.
Damn it. I wish he had to pay for his.
Oh, I know.
Or he had to answer for all this. Gross.
Of course, he's a fucking coward.
He is a coward.
Ugh. And a toddler. Gross.
And that face
is awful.
Is so upsetting as well. Gross.
I've never been more excited to talk negatively about someone's looks than I am with Austin Lee Edwards.
He makes it very easy.
I know.
At me.
My thoughts and prayers to Austin Lee Edwards' mother for having to give birth to that big ass head.
Oh, bless her. Poor girl. Poor woman. Ew.
Oh. Patrons. Jenny, Jim, Nessasaurus. I like that. Oh. Anastasia, Kristen, Lindsay, Chrissy, Yalitza, Shelbs, Rachel, Poppy, Jordan, Catherine, Amber, Sabrina, Mason, Julie, Nina, Melanie, Sarah, Vitasha, Sophie, Samantha, Peyton, Jean, Lisa, Claire, Noelle, Carly, Kara, Alexandra, and Melissa.
Stop.
Yay.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Customs. First one's from Ashley Snyder. She says, people may be the worst, but dogs are the best. I'm an in-home dog trainer based just north of Houston, Texas, with 20 plus years doing what I love. You can find me on Facebook or Nextdoor. First lessons are free for PAT Dub listeners.
Oh, that's nice.
That is really nice. So on Facebook, it's Ashley's Animal Education.
Oh, wow.
You'll see a cover photo of 3 dogs. One's a German Shepherd, and I don't remember what the other ones are. Because actually saying that out loud, I'm like, oh, wait, I don't even remember what the other ones are.
It's the only one you care about. That's messed up. Get that dog trained.
Yeah, get your dog trained. First lesson for free. That is so nice. Thank you, Ashley.
That is nice.
Second one's from Dante. I'm a professor of psychology and victimology. Stop.
What?
Can we use you for reference? What is that? Okay. Your cases regularly make their way into my classrooms. Shut up. Can I get, I want a full report.
Yeah.
Shout out to my wife's home bakery in LA. It's called OG Treats. The Instagram handle is OG_treats.
Oh, wow.
He says, cake pops, cakes, and desserts make people better. Yes, they do.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Wow. Wait. Okay. OG Treats. Everyone check it out. Hey, Dante. Can you tell us more?
Yeah.
Victimology. Where are your professor?
Okay. So if they live in LA, I was about to say, gosh, I don't think I have a connection to my story and these custom shout outs because I've had one literally for months, every time. But you live in LA. That's Riverside.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good job. Yeah. Where are you a professor anymore?
And so our stories make their way into your classroom. Are people raising their hands like actively like, hey, I was listening to this episode, People Are the Worst, and then everyone pulls out their phone and starts downloading it.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll all listen. Is that your lesson? Or are you like, today, here's what we're going to do. We're going to listen to a podcast.
Yeah. And then do you make subscribing to our podcast mandatory? Just a suggestion. So they can follow along as you,
No, they probably
strictly strategic for you.
Pick it apart and they're like, did you hear what those dipshits said about that psychological exam evaluation, whatever? You get it. Sorry, Dante. Okay. Wow. Great. Awesome.
I need to know more.
Amazing.
And the last one's from Emily. She says, people may be the worst, but Samantha is the best. We met selling vintage and antique home goods on Instagram and realized that we are both People Are the Worst listeners.
Shut up.
I love that. Emily's Instagram handle is longtimefinds.
Okay.
And Samantha's is Mindfully Vintage CO, like company.
Yeah.
I love
wow,
that.
That's cool. Wait, honestly, I love an antique moment.
Me too. So go check them out and follow them because they're supportive and they found each other via
Wow.
Instagram. That is awesome. I'm going to go check y'all out.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all. Y'all are
People
the best.
Oh, yeah. Y'all are the best.
People are
the
the worst.
worst. Bye.
Bye.